how do you get from Baku then? What was that like growing up, and what was your family unit like?
I mean, we grew up in a family that was, my parents are very kind and loving parents, and I think I'm very grateful that I got that from them. Like I said, a lot of times people put the pressure on themselves to go and make it in the world so they can give to their child. But as long as they get love, they will be fine. They'll turn out fine. And that's what my parents gave me, and I'm truly grateful for that. We struggled financially. Anytime I say this on the podcast, my dad is like, we were middle class in Azerbaijan. Yes, absolutely. But middle class in Azerbaijan is different from middle class in America, right? Like we had one bedroom, tiny apartment, and my parents gave their bedroom to my sister and I so we can have a bedroom. And for 16 years of my life, until we immigrated to Canada, they slept on the couches in living room. Right, that's not middle class America. Let's just be clear. True. If my dad is watching, I just want to make it clear. True. Because to somebody there, he didn't view himself, of course, as not having a lot of abundance. Because back then, people didn't compare themselves so much, and we had a community, and I think that was very important. So as growing up, I had a community, but I saw my parents struggling financially. And I always knew that's something I want to make sure I don't do, like I don't have the same struggle in my life. And then the limiting beliefs, I've observed that since I was little. The judgments, the limiting beliefs.
And you've been able to observe that as opposed to be taken over by it.
Yeah, and I remember even when my mom was, not my mom, I was like maybe 7 years old, and my mom would have some troubles with my dad. She would come and tell me like, this is what happened. And I would give her relationship advice. And I remember her saying to me, this is pretty good advice, And I felt like really good as a 7-year-old giving my mom advice. But I was exposed to a lot of reality of family, for good or bad. I now can observe that it was for good because I was mindful of everything I've observed. And I made conscious decisions that I want my life to be different. I don't want the same struggles. I don't want the same drama. I want freedom. I want respect. I want quality relationships, and I feel like that's the biggest gift we can also get, even if we don't have perfect life, is that we can decide what we don't want to repeat, what steps, what decisions, what choices that our parents made that we don't want to repeat in our lives. Or maybe we want to repeat because they've succeeded and they're happy. Ultimately, you look at your parents and you say, are they happy? Are they fulfilled? Do I want to be like them when I'm 50, 60, 70 years old? Do you want to be like your parents, Everybody has to ask that question. And if you don't, you have to be mindful because guess what? They've conditioned our subconscious mind 0 to 6. We didn't get to choose. And now even I, as much as conscious as I am, as mindful as I am, I see myself repeating my mom. I see myself repeating my dad. And then I'm like, it's there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're mindful, you can break those patterns over time, but it does take a lot of work. So I've struggled a lot. I was a very shy kid. I would say I was very reserved. I always felt like there was a little firecracker inside of me, but I didn't show it until much later in my life. But I was very quiet and observant. And I think that all the gifts that I have in my life is because I've observed a lot while I was little.